Okay, I'm hoping this works. This is my first attempt at a process video for Project Life. A couple of years ago, or last year, I found these. It's just a piece of glass that is actually supposed to be mounted on a wall. I got it at Target. They are just over 12 inches square, more like 13 I think. And I just put some washi as my borders for a main 12 by 12 page, and then I actually made it look like the Design A, because that's typically what I use the most. The other one that I might use oftentimes too, or at least last year, was whatever this one was called, I can't remember, where it's just Design A turned on its side. So these have worked out for me. I like doing it, especially as the year goes on and your binder becomes thicker and thicker. This is kind of nice to have a flat surface to work on, and I can also stack these if I'm in progress and take them wherever I would like to take them, like in front of the TV upstairs with my family, if that's something that I want to do. So this is how I start, is I start by getting my photos, and throughout the week I keep a journal that kind of gives me an idea of some of the things that I'd like to include. I've shared that before, and I'll link to that in the blog so you can see that past look. This week I went ahead and I've decided that I really don't need an insert this week. Oftentimes I do have inserts. This week I have just about the right amount of pictures, so I'm not going to really need an insert. So that makes it a lot easier. So I thought I would just go ahead and do a process video of when I'm just using a basic layout and not adding any inserts or anything to the layout. So I went ahead and I took my pictures, and I do write or use some sort of stamp or something on the back what day this came from, because although I don't always just go exactly in the same order, I kind of I want to know, like, the first half of the week sometimes is on this side and the second half of the week is sometimes on this side, if it looks okay that way. It's more important to me that the stories of the week go together if I have multiple pictures or journaling pieces that go with that. So and sometimes it's about color as well. So these three I knew I wanted to have together because it's all kind of related to weather. I broke out my flip-flops or sandals, and I have decided and told my friends at work that I am no longer going to cover my toes until October. So we'll see if that works. Because we had a huge melt and this winter has been just horrible. So this is my feet next to some very dirty snow, and this is also about the weather because it was the first time we were able to get Bea out with the her new bike. And there's more to that story, but that kind of gives you an idea. And this is just a screenshot from my phone because we got up to 57 that day. So that is one story that kind of goes together. And here's another story that kind of goes together. That one's on its own, but I made it a like a collage of photos together. Because I couldn't decide, to be honest, which photo that I wanted to use, and so I just did that. I may end up using all of these in a regular size on a layout because I did like these photos. It was a fun story. These two go together because this was a time when my grandson was able to come and visit, and we babysat, and so that goes with it. This is a photo that I took off my daughter Beatrice's Shutterfly site that her teacher has, so I get to have included in my Project Life sometimes some of the photos from school, which I really like. And this is from my work. This is a photo from a colleague of mine to myself. So for this week I am going to use the March Project Life kit. This is week, I believe, 10. So we're in, like, for me, I start my weeks on a Wednesday and go through Tuesday because Wednesday was the first day of the year this year, and so that's just how I chose to do it. So I am going to use office hours, and I already know in advance that I want to use this particular card as my weekly card, my week my week 10 card. I know I want to use this, and it was confirmed. It comes 2 different colors, red and blue, and it was confirmed when I looked at my color scheme because there are some navy things in here, some blues, and then orange is another picture that I see, or a color that I see a lot, and I do like how navy and orange go together. So those are going to be kind of the 2 main colors that I use. So then the next thing, and actually I should explain that when I do get my Project Life kits, the first thing that I do is I go through and kind of sort them by possible color schemes that I might use things in. So like this one had a lot of green, so I put those things that were kind of greenish that I thought might go together, and actually I will probably use those next week because the following week after this is the St. Patrick's Day, so I'll probably use some of these with my photos from that week. So just to kind of get you an idea, so I've already sorted those out. These are the ones that are kind of orange and navy. I probably won't use all of these, but I just wanted to kind of get an idea. I also included in this kit that came with a transparent one, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use that card this week or not, but I was really excited to see that. So you can see I grabbed some. If I want to pull in another color, I can do that from that card, or that card if I choose to use those. So then I also have a few other kits. To be honest, I have quite a few other kits because I'm a bit addicted. This is from, I know that this one right here is from the kit designed by Elise Baja Kripe, the Seafoam kit. And it's orange, and that's part of my scheme. So I pulled that one out. And I was thinking, there's another one. Oh, here it is. Another couple cards that I decided upon. This Spring Forward is actually Kathy, I think you say her name, Zelsky, I'm not sure, but she had a free printable. I'll link that in my post for, this is the week that we sprung forward for daylight saving time. So I pulled that card. It comes with, there's 4 cards on her printable, and I took the one that was orange. And then this one, I can't remember what kit this came from. I'm thinking it might be strawberry, but I don't know. I'll think and I'll look it up and I'll figure that out for you, and hopefully I'll link that in the post as well. So these are a couple. I knew that if you look, I have a couple of photos that are a little bit smaller, that don't fill up a complete 4x6. So I pulled a couple. This is kind of an orangey red, so I'm not sure, and I'm not sure about this one yet, but this one has that blue, and it has some of those other colors that are in some of the other cards, so I think I'll probably for sure use that one. So that's the next thing I do. Once I kind of figure out where I want my pictures to go, which I usually do a little maybe by color, a lot by story, and somewhat chronologically at some point. Like this was towards the beginning of the week, and this was towards the beginning of the week, so I do some that way. Okay, so then I'm kind of not quite ready to begin, because the next thing I think about is I try to pull some of things that I might use related to embellishments or washi tape or those sorts of things. I pulled orange because I mostly have orange. I don't have a lot of blue. I have a lot of washi, but I don't have a lot of blue, dark blue. So this is actually one that came from a Studio Calico kit, and it has, when I saw it, I thought of this card, and so I pulled that. I might use that. I pulled some other orange that I may use from various manufacturers. So I have a bunch of that. This is another one that I thought kind of mimicked this card a little bit. It's not as orange, you know what, it's not orangey enough for me, so I'm going to put that aside. A couple of other things that I grabbed are some journaling spots that I might use. I have these, which are just Martha Stewart. I got them at Staples, I think. And there's this big size, and then I also have a package of these little sizes. I think I'll probably use the little size, but I'll keep these out just in case. Another thing I went and pulled, because of the bike, I knew I had this. I think it came from a paper issues kit, but I'm not certain. Anyway, I have blue that says "Let's Talk." You are here with the navy. and I have a couple of bike ones because we have that bike story. So as I go, I'll figure out which ones of those I'm going to use. I pulled this. I got this actually from a scrapbooking kit from Scrapbook Circle, but it had a lot of those same multiple colors that were on some of these cards. So I thought that might be something that I might use. Oh, here's another thing. When the Studio Calico kits come, they always come with this card, and it's just a, I suppose you're supposed to use it to kind of tell, you know, it says main kit, if it's an add-on and all that kind of, to keep track of what you have. But I always save this one because a lot of times I use this space. I really like orange, and this is kind of orangey, and so I use this space a lot to maybe stamp or various things, or cut like use a punch with it or something like that. So I almost always keep these cards. This time I decided, since I was doing an orange color scheme, that I thought I went ahead and just rounded the corners. It doesn't come rounded, and I thought maybe I might do something like with one of these buttons or something like that. So I don't know if I'm going to use that, but I might. So I added that in. And then another thing is I like my enamel dots, and this has navy. And then I made a bunch, and I think I linked that in a different post, or talked about that in a different post. I made some, so I pulled my orange ones that I made. So these are, you know, kind of, I'm getting closer now to getting ready to put it all together. The last thing that for some reason I can't find right now is, oh, here it is, right. I may use these stickers, which I absolutely love, and I'm excited about having those in this kit. I'm just not sure how I'm going to do my weeks. I'm just not sure if I'm going to need those, but I have them anyway. And then this month, in this, also included in the Studio Calico kit, is a bunch of labels that are, they're actually just paper. They're not adhesive, but there's green and there's blue. So I'm just going to pull out those blue ones. I think I'll probably use some of those green ones next week when I use those green cards for St. Patty's Day. All right, so I think I have at least a good start. I still may pull some things, but I've got a good start as to what I'm going to do when it comes down to it. So I'm going to set these aside and start. My next step really is my cards and figuring out where my cards are going to go. So I can journal here for this, or I could embellish this in some way and I could journal here for these. So we'll see. Same with this. So now I think I could journal these here, or I could do this. Shut this off, get everything put together, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. Okay, here it is completed. I have them all ready to go into my binders. I put each card into its spot, except for this one, because I wanted to show you that what I did, which probably wasn't clear on the fast forwarded video, is I stepped it back and I used an X-Acto knife, basically cut around this part so that I could put that underneath. I do that a lot. I just, especially if it's not, what's important is that it just adds a little bit of a interest. All I did with this card and this card was just add an element in the middle. Sometimes I stitch over those. I didn't choose to do that this time. I did end up using the large letters that came with, or the thickers that came with it, to do a few little kind of titles on those. Other than that, lots of labels that wrap around to the back and lots of little dots to try to get the flow to kind of go across here a little bit. Usually I do kind of a try to do a triangle, but I didn't really do that as much this time. I just tried to continue with, in various spots, the same sort of element around the labels that I used. I did that here with a different color. So that was just kind of what tied it together for me this time. This week is a real simple week. I didn't use a lot of extra things. I hope you like it. If there's anything that you would like, that you have questions about, or if there's anything that you would like to see in future videos, this was kind of fun, so I could go for it and do it again. One other thing I did want to highlight that I did do that I forgot to mention earlier was that I did put washi tape on here. That's what I ended up deciding instead of, I don't know, it just kind of gave it a place to sit. And then this is just a piece of pattern paper. That's, I guess, about it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's anything that you would like to see. Thanks.